Don't wait till you're big to start serving. I'm going to tell you a story of a guy you may know. We're going to jump in, we're going to do a few questions, and we'll be done. But this is really huge for me. Invite your customers and friends and kids to help you right from the start. Some people say, I don't want to do this because it'll take too much time around the kids, away from the kids. I am completely messed up because my father dragged me to service opportunities. Not so much, I'm so messed up because he got us involved in serving early. No, I'm so grateful my dad and mom dragged us along. My dad was a Christian service teacher for the Nazarene Church. He'd go around New England and he'd do little trainings for Sunday school, and I would be there just hanging out, and look what I'm doing now. It was my dad dragging me along. I had collated so many papers, I just felt like, that's all I was. I was Mr. Collator, 8 years old. So that your kids won't be scarred if you involve them. Don't just serve out of plenty. The most generous state in America is the poorest state. And what state is that, folks? Can you guess? Mississippi. The higher folks that are wealthier, they don't tend to be as generous. They give more money, but percentage-wise, not as much. When we're closer to needs, when our heart is tender, we give. So yeah, you can write a big check, but I'm more fascinated by what percentage of that. So that's something to keep in mind. All right, start tomorrow morning by serving small. Marcus and I wrote a little piece this week, and it's been fun to see it kind of go around the internet. But I want us to look at this together, if you would. I gave you just an excerpt, and these are some practical things that'll bring it on home. We're going to talk a little bit about social media. We're going to talk a little bit about just being a good neighbor. But let's walk through this. Use LinkedIn to say hello, how you doing, and how can I help? There's an old saying that you should have 10 times as many LinkedIn connections as your age. Think about that for a moment. If you're 50, you should have 500. Now, people say, that's a crazy number. How would I find those 500? Well, you probably have 300 right in your Gmail inbox. So that's a good start. But who cares how many you have if you're not connecting? And some of you guys that feel like, I'm behind the time, I'm not on LinkedIn, I'm not doing this. Well, whatever you do, connect with those people, right? If they're a connection, connect. And so how hard is it to just send an email through LinkedIn or another social media and say, how you doing? What are you working on? Maybe even if you're a believer, hey, I'm praying for you. How's your job situation? But just to say, how can you help? I can't tell you how many jobs I've got from just saying, hey, how you doing? And the guy says, what, I was just thinking about you the other day. I don't know if it's psychic. And I go, no, I'm a Christian. It's not psychic. No, but they'll say, I was just thinking about you. Just thank you. I've got something for you. How about using text messaging? If you look at your existing text message client on your phone, you probably have about 50 people you've already communicated with, right? A whole list. Why not go down through there and say, who do I need to say hi to? Who do I need to encourage? How hard is that? You could do that while you're waiting for somebody else in a meeting. Keep track, a stack of thank you cards. Vistaprint, there's a lot of other ones, SmugMug. I took a picture of the sunset over Huntington Beach Pier. And I took 30 pictures on my smartphone. One of them came out good. It just came out great. So I sent it off to Vistaprint. I wrote a little something about thanking people in the back. And I keep a stack of them by my desk at work and at home. And I have a blast. And what's my investment? $300 a year? I have more fun just thanking people. I've got another one, you made a difference. So every year, I want to create one. Create your own. It's good for your business. I'm not asking for anything. I'm just saying, how you doing? You made a difference at Helen. You may just get one. So just know you helped me out and your team, so don't be surprised. Create your own little branding. Here's my challenge. Okay, some of you say, I didn't get a book. Well, if you do that for 6 months, and here's the challenge, 180 times, you get a book, okay? And you get a coaching session. That's how much I'd love for you to do it. So buy your $50 worth of postcards from Vistaprint or whatever, create something, get a friend to help you, send them out, and if you do that, I'll take words on her. You get a book and you can come see me for free and we can talk about your business, okay? That's my challenge. Random act of kindness. A church up in LA, Christian Assembly. If you know that, Tommy Walker's an incredible musician up there. I used to go to church there. They printed out a little card, and our small mastermind group's doing it this week. It just says, hey, it's on us, has a little verse on there. Maybe you're in line at In-N-Out Burger, you decide to pay for the person behind you, you hand that out, and then we're going to have a little thing that says, it's okay to reuse this card. So we're not going to try to get them to come to our business or get them to come to church. We're just going to say, here's a little scripture, here's what's going on, God loves you, we do, and we're going to have a blast with that. We're going to print 1,000 up and see what happens. So I encourage you, take that idea, run with it, you can make a difference. You can serve small, you can do that. Call at least one out-of-town relative. I get a list of relatives that are older, and I need to call them. They're going to be delighted to do that once a week. You don't have to do all these. These are just, any one of these could be a great week for you. Introduce two people who should know each other. You say, well, I'm not a good networker. Well, maybe you're good at networking people together. And there's actually a little high-tech thing called SoundCloud. You can create an audio file and connect them to the audio, and it's almost like a little voicemail for both of them if you want to get a little cutting edge. But otherwise, just drop it in an email and say, Bob, meet Michael, Michael, meet Bob, and step out of the picture. People will love you for it, and you'll have a good time. Then how about don't waiting to be asked, you've got a friend that's moving, you've got a friend that's got a party coming up, volunteer to help. Then there's that letter of affirmation. I know people that have kept little notes of affirmation for 10, 20 years. Write some. Once a month, send somebody who needs something anonymously. A set of tickets for movies through Costco, a little something to do this or that. Be that person. You can do that with a neighbor you don't know, except as I mentioned, if they're insured by Smith Wesson, you might be a little careful. They may be a little scary, but use your judgment. And then finally, there's a guy that I know who gives away one prized possession every year. He doesn't give that schlocky t-shirt that he doesn't want anymore. He gives away a stereo. He gives away a laptop. He does something that hurts just so stuff doesn't get too much in his pores. So I want to encourage you to do that now and not wait. So just as we're wrapping up and before we take a few questions, let's meet somebody that you may know. How many of you know Don Schonendorfer? Some of you may know him. Yeah, good guy. Don is right down the street off of Alton Parkway on Irvine Boulevard. He decided that he wasn't going to wait till he got older until he made it to create a wheelchair that would go around the world. He took a cheap pair of Huffy bicycle tires and a standard issue lawn chair that you could sit in, one of those little plastic white chairs, bolted it together, created a wheelchair for about $50. The real wheelchairs go for over $1,000. These are kind of off-road for the developing world. And you know what? He's given away 730,000 of them. But I love this quote. Look at this. I used to think that I make sure my family was all okay, and then I give back in a big way. Now I know that thinking is wrong. Are you somebody who's waiting to get everything all set in your business? Are you waiting till your family and your kids are in school? I'd say don't wait. Do something now, right now. So here he is. What simple idea are you sitting on? Isn't that amazing? He's just a guy. His wife just said, you got to do something. He had all these chairs in his garage. He just did it. 730,000 wheelchairs later. His goal, by the way, is 20 million. He's just a guy. Some of you, the best gift I'd ever have here would be that some of you started something because of this. All right, final challenge. If your life to date was judged not by how much money you'd accrued or how many awards you received, but by how much you'd served others, how would you measure up? Let's follow the Lord's challenge and build a legacy of service. There's that little picture I told you about I took. Okay, you ready to do the final giveaway? And then we'll do a drawing. Let's take a look at the serving questions here. And I'm going to give you just a moment or two, and then we'll answer together. Beyond excellent customer service, that's a no-brainer, right? How are you serving in your business? How could you begin to serve small? And then, are you interested in being like Christ and taking on the form of a servant? What would that look like in your business?